So it's been about 20 years since last went to church. Last time I was in the church was before my parents got divorced when I was at a young age, and then since they got divorced, I've never been back until this last Sunday. It is currently October 4th, the Saturday before church is tomorrow, and I've had a little bit less than a week to really simmer, to really ruminate on what the pastor was talking about. Did it really feel right to be in the church? Was this the right church for me? Was this the right experience for me? As weird as it is to say, I felt like last week's church session was made for me. The reason I say that is because I documented in my notebook my journal as to when I started to read the Bible, and I started reading it on the 16th of September, and where I started was with the Gospels. So I started with Matthew. I'm really taking my time analyzing the Bible. Like I'm really like trying to understand. So I'm highlighting. I'm taking notes. I'm doing the stuff when it comes to reading the Bible. And the whole time he was talking about Matthew and Peter and the sins that he struggles with. And then that made me want to think, I'm like, okay, well, what do I struggle with? And then he pointed mine out to a T. Sin I struggle with is lust. Lust is a nightmare for me. I've always had a hard time with it. And that's something I'm having a really hard time pushing through. Another sin I struggle with is too much pride. I have way too much pride. Pride in myself, pride that I believe that I know more, especially when it comes to wealth, like trying to work more to achieve this life, to do the things that I want to do. But in reality, I know Jesus has got my back. He is going to provide for me. So it's like I'm trying to take control of my life instead of giving it, to Jesus Christ, giving it to the Lord. And those are really, really hard for me. And we were going through passages, chapters of Matthew that I just read the night before that I highlighted, and we were talking about those. And I didn't know because it was my first time coming back to church in 20 years. So I didn't know what the next session was going to be, the one that I went to. I didn't know what it was going to be about. And the fact that I come on the day where the pastor has the same three sins, he's reading the book of Matthew. And again, Matthew's I assume one of the more popular ones because it is one of the Gospels. So we're quoting it a lot, and the fact that it was happened, all those things, it was like there's no way that session wasn't that I wasn't meant to be at that session. I was meant to be there. I was meant to realize to realize that Jesus is the way. And how do I feel about that? It was really weird for me. I've had a lot of coincidences in my life when it comes to God, and kind of just things that you can't explain happened to me in my life all throughout childhood, teens, early 20s. And again, I always thought that it was like kind of a coincidence, kind of, it's kind of on the cusp of like, I don't know. And then the fact that it's like, okay, I'm going to start diving into my faith a little bit more. And that was, again, 16th of September. And then my buddy invited me to come to church with him. And then I was like, I haven't been in 20 years. Let's go. Let's see how we feel. And then the fact that the pastor, again, struggled with the three sins that I struggle with. Again, analyzing the part of the Bible that I just read, that I'm just starting to get back into, that I'm just starting to analyze, and that he's reading through these and talking about these and deep diving into these is like, okay, if you're like me, I've met some people that have questioned whether they want to start going back to church. Questioned whether it's if they're meant to go back. Questioned whether if it's really the right decision for them. And the only thing I can say to you is, it doesn't hurt to try. Again, I don't know if what happened to me, like, again, it felt like that session was made for me. Church last week, I felt like everything they talked about was made for me. Made for me to realize that this is where I'm meant to be. This is the path that I'm meant to follow. I don't know if you're going to get the same experience, but if you're, again, diving into your faith, like, especially, like, obviously I think a lot of us feel the shift in the world right now, shift in religion, and I feel like we're all kind of searching for something to believe in. It doesn't hurt to try. Usually you can tell after the first session if this is what you're meant to do, if this is where you're meant to be, if this is the right church for you. And I know this is a little bit different than my past videos about, self-growth and stuff. But this is something that's been happening with me in my life, and maybe someone is struggling with the same thing that I was struggling with, something to believe in, just something, and that's why I'm making these. That's why my past video was I talked about the Bible as well. So let me know what you guys think. This has kind of just been what's on my mind lately. This is what's been resonating with me lately, and maybe it hits somebody else, and that's kind of why I'm talking about it today. Maybe this resonates with you, and if it doesn't, that's cool too. Um, Either way, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like. If you didn't, let me know. Let me know what you think. That's why we have comments. That's why you're allowed to disagree. You're allowed to have different opinions. And if you really liked it, maybe consider subscribing to Uncharted Potential. This is where we grow. This is where we try to become our best selves, not only for ourselves, but for others as well, so we can help guide them in their life as well. So with that, I'll see you in the next one.